开始 Okay, let's get started. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for taking the time to interview with us. So, let me do a quick introduce. So, my name is Molly. So, right now, I am a product manager at ServiceNow. So, as a B2B company doing SaaS product, and I currently under CSM product area doing a 0 to 1 product, leading the order management and quote management part of the sales and order management product. So that's basically about me. And then you can spend like 3 to 5 minutes to give a quick introduction as well.
Oh yeah, great to meet you, Molly. So my name is Tracy Du. You can just call me Tracy. And currently I work for Citigroup as business analyst, and I work for one of the financial reference data platform. And basically I just done a lot of business analyst work, like more relevant with the database. And for my previous experience, I think I can separate them into two parts. So one part will be data science relevant. So I have worked for Salesforce and also Certic as data science intern. And the other part will be product relevant. So I also work for the web service as program manager and work for Certic as a associate product manager. And also, I think I'm also interested in the entrepreneur stuff. So I also organize some of the entrepreneur community with my friend called Moonshot, and we have host lots of different hackathon and workshop each month before. Yeah, that's all. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds like you have a lot of you already have some product management internship experience before, and you also have like strong data analyst or data science skill set as your data science intern before. So I was just looking at your LinkedIn profile and then see your background is also you also have like strong technical background. And by the way, I see actually 2 days ago was your birthday, so happy late birthday.
Oh,
So
thank
kudos to
you.
like I really like this feature on LinkedIn. So kudos
Oh,
to
me too. And I also saw someone like do the congratulation for me, like even though like we just only connect.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a great like
Yeah.
product.
Like it's a great time to do the small talk. Good feature. I don't.
Yeah. So, sounds great. So, since you're here to interview for the product manager position, so I'm wondering, like, could you tell me why you want to transit from a business analyst to be a product manager? Like, is there any specific reason behind it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I think through all my academic life, I think I study most of time is apply math, like over the math class, like statistic process, optimization. And I also like when I was doing the undergrad, I do the like management science, and that's why it's more econ based, but it's also really quantitative. And after I graduated from my undergrad school, I just went to Columbia, do the operation research major, and for that one, it's also really quant. However, since 2021, like for the time that I built up the entrepreneur startup community with my friend, I think at the time I have met lots of different people, and they have really, diverse. They are really diverse, and from that time, I just began to think about like, should I really do the data science role because I feel I'm more interested into talk with more people and communicate with different idea and think about of different things. So I just wonder maybe I should do a little bit switch. So in 2022, I just began to do some data science internship, and that's product driven. But I also like try to explore more for the product relevant stuff. Yeah.
Great. It sounds like you start with like e-commerce and quantitative like technical like study, and then you have that skill set being cultivated during school, and then you start to pivot to like product driven data scientist role, and then see how you can leverage your technical skill set. So yeah, that has been said. So And I'm wondering like based on all your past entrepreneur experience, your product management experience, and your data scientist experience, based on all those experience, could you tell me about a time when you had to manage a difficult stakeholder and how did you handle this situation? And could you also tell me like what is the outcome?
Okay, so I think I can share with you from my experience work for Slack as a data science intern. So at that time, um, when I do the research, basically at that time I'm work on the feature called Slack Connect, and that feature is a kind of shared channel which like you can invite external people from like except from your company, and that's a shared channel. And for that channel, we have already done a lot of research. So basically, the main idea is that channel will have really high or drive the retention for our paid clients. So at that time, I have the job to find out like what is the real use case for that channel. And after I do the research, I find one of really interesting thing. So basically, normally people are thinking about for the salespeople, they will use more huddle. Like huddle means like you will do the like now we have the video call, but before it's not the video is only connecting each other. And for that one, normally for the salespeople, we think they will use more. However, like according to the data, the engineer people they will use huddle more. So that will be a little bit weird for me. So at that time, I try to find out the reason why it happened. So I connect the customer support team and also the product manager team to find out the root cause. So basically, the reason is because the sales team they want a more formal stuff. So they want something they can connect with the Google Calendar. So Zoom can fit in more compared to the Huddle, and also Huddle don't have the video chats before. So that's a kind of reason. So at the time, I want to propose an idea to maybe connect the calendar to the huddle or just add the video feature. And however, at the time, the PM for that feature, they actually joined at the same time as me. So she's not that familiar with all the stuff. And however, my internship is just a 10 weeks. So I try to drive it. Um, but I feel maybe she's not that interested to drive it. So because she didn't believe all the things that I have done like for the data science research, I think. So to get her research, I have done a lot of things. So basically I work with my mentor at that time to understand more for the overall roadmap for the Slack and also the product strategy for the Slack Connect and also the previous data like for all the relevant metrics and to make sure that all the information I talk with the PM is a really useful information. So after I done the research and communicate with the PM again, and she just agreed with me. Yeah. And agree to add in the like Q3 roadmap in the future.
Oh, so like at the that's great to know. Like at the end, they did accept your proposal and did add the you mentioned the video feature, right? To the huddle of Slack.
Yeah, and also maybe in the future add the calendar feature, but I still didn't say it after several like 1 year. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big a compliment. So like kudos to you that how Huddle gonna have like will have the video feature now. So yeah, that's a great story. So moving on to the next question. So um could you describe a situation where a feature or product you owned did not meet the expectations, and what did you learn and how did you move forward from that?
Okay. Yeah, I think I need maybe 2 seconds to think about
Yeah,
what
definitely.
would be a good example. Like you mean a product didn't make the expectation. So basically that one will be early stage that I'm working on, it doesn't meet on the expectation.
In terms of expectation, it can be like internal or external. Like expectation, you probably like let's say you set up product strategy at the beginning, you set up a couple goals for your product, but at the end the product didn't meet those goals. Or it can be from your manager or from the leadership, they have some certain expectation on this product, but at the end, the product didn't meet their expectation either. So it can be any of those situations.
Okay, gotcha. So maybe I can share with you one of my experience in Certic as a product manager intern.
Mm.
So basically at that time, one of the products that I work on called Certic Airdrop Information Board. And for that one, um, it will be a kind of add-on for that time for our like Tuesday website. So basically that board just record lots of airdrop information. And in Web3, airdrop means if you sign up for something, maybe you can get some free money or free token, or just you also need to maybe do a little bit marketing stuff, maybe write some tweets or something. So that will be a kind of airdrop stuff. And that's where we'll record all the information. And we want to build that feature because we want more consumer inflow in our website to make sure like more and more people like and to add more acquisition in the website. So that's the background. So like for the hard situation, it's more like I think at that time I've done lots of user research to understand the pain point and do the competitor analysis and also finish the PRD. However, at that time, the leadership team, they didn't prioritize my projects because at the end of the year, like they have several other priority and they didn't catch the timeline for those priority. So basically they said they want to, like postpone like my project. However, my internship is only like 4 months and I have done a lot for that project. So after I know the stuff, so basically I try to take more responsibility. So even though I know I cannot finish that project at that time, I still try to take the initiative. So I talk with several different engineer people like in the team to make sure they fully understand the PRD stuff that I'm writing and to make sure all the information I write in the PRD is fully packaged. So like for next year, if they want to catch up this project, they can catch up really soon. And it will be, easier to like re-begin it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story. So, um, moving on to the next question. So, could you tell me, um, provide an example that you use data to make a critical product decision, and how did the data influence your strategy, and what was the result?
Oh, okay. So basically, it will be a kind of like data-driven decision.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me think what will be the great example.
yeah. Feel free to take some some minutes to think about this.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily have to be a when you were PM, like it not necessarily have like to be a product decision, but like project related. Even when
Mhm.
you were data scientist, you need to leverage data to make decision or even influence the PM to make a product decision.
Yeah, I think I just struggling which one to choose because most of my projects is actually data driven. And maybe I want to share my experience in Amazon Web Service as a program manager. Um, but it's a long time ago, it's in 2021. So I'm not sure like whether I remember all the thing. So basically the main idea is I work for the web service. And at that time, I'm the program manager for the sales and marketing team. So my role is to improve the overall efficiency for the sales team and also like help the marketing team to do some marketing campaign. And at that time, because I still really interested in the data science stuff, so I try to leverage my data science skill. So I just analyze lots of data for the clients. So the information will include maybe like like in a 2B company, like in the sales team, there are lots of clients will talk with the salespeople and they will record all the information in the Salesforce. And at that time, I have analyzed all the information for the clients, including maybe what kind of industry are they and what kind of service they are used in Amazon Web Service. And I just find out for the retention or like the way that I try to drive the new sign up people as a new biller. So basically, in between, there are also like free tier periods. So to drive them, there will be a kind of like high value action. So something like if they are at that time, if they are from the industry like gaming or D2C in China, they are more easily to return in our service, like to convert them from the free tier to the paid people. And also there are some kind of service, if they adopt at the beginning, it will be more easier to make them pay later. So there's something like this kind of information I got from the data, and I just do a final presentation to the leadership and tell them like maybe in the future when we are doing the filter, like to what kind of clients to focus, we can focus on this kind of clients. Maybe we can have the higher return.
Yeah, that's a great story that you leverage your data analyst skill set that help to analyze those customer data and also manage to find a funnel to focus on the product like the customer retention part, and also had a chance to pitch to the leadership and then to prioritize this initiative. Yeah. Um, Moving on to the next question. So I'm thinking about, could you tell me about a time when a sudden change in the market needs you to adjust your product strategy, and how did you identify the needs of change, and what actions did you take to react?
Okay, that I really need some of the second. Let me think, do I have any fit example like for the market change?
Yeah, I can share some of my own experience because right now, like, AI is everywhere. Every company is trying to leverage AI and try to go with the market trend. So it might influence a lot of product managers' product strategies to see how they can put AI into their product roadmap.
Oh, okay. That's a great. Let me think because I think at that time when I work as a product manager, there isn't lots of like change in that area, but let me think. Um, I don't think I have really fit example for this question
Yeah,
because I
no.
did lots of like products. Yeah, but if I think something fits later, maybe I can share with you later if you
Yeah,
don't mind.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Then I can ask you a different question. So, could you describe a situation where you had to lead your team through a period of uncertainty, and how did you maintain team to have a follow direction and then being productive throughout that period of time? And what was the outcome from that experience?
Okay. I think I can share my other projects when I work for Certic. So at that time, the other product I'm working on, it will be a 2B product. So it's basically I just built a data analytic tool for the Web3 startup. And for that product, I think I have take lots of initiative because that one will be original from my previous like data science intern. Because when I work on the dashboard projects in that intern, I feel there are lots of needs from the Web3 startup, like to understand how people like their community. So what is their popularity on the Twitter? And also like how to manage their Telegram or Discord community. So I just take the initiative and contact the CPO and to try to say, okay, maybe I can work on this one because like lots of startup they are interested in. But that's one since I just, like from 0 to 1, so I feel there are lots of uncertainty and I don't have lots of, like the clear goal and what kind of product they want. So at the beginning, I have done lots of client interview. So I try to find more and more like Web3 startup, and they're really like a mini team. So I try to understand what their needs for this kind of brand monitor products. And I have clients lots of needs. However, I feel the needs actually really overwhelming at that time. So one of the things super important is to do the prioritization. So I need to know like um because it's a kind of 2B product, so you also need to customize for different clients. So at that time, there are like 2 clients really interested in, like one from a Web3 gaming startup, and the other one is our certain marketing team. So I have communicated with them a lot and try to prioritize the needs from them. And also like I do something prioritization from my own logic to just understand maybe like how to monitor the stuff like in the Twitter, and also what kind of features they need for to manage their Discord or Telegram. So after that, I think I just do all the prioritization and categorization for the needs and build the MVP and saw that product to that gaming startup, and with like 20K per year. Yeah, that's the result.
Yeah, that's a good result. Like you managed to monetize this initiative and also successfully prioritized some industry and customers to focus on. Yeah, so talking about, so you mentioned a lot of times about prioritization when you were making a decision. So could you tell me like how did you do prioritizations, or what are some factors you will consider when you are doing prioritization?
Oh yeah, definitely. So for that one, I think my top priority will be the client's need because that one will be a 2B product. I think, the final goal is to sell the product. So I need to make sure like all the feature they want, and I build the a top feature they want first and then do the secondary. So I think that one will be the top one factor. And the second one will be the implement cost. So because that one is a data product, so there are lots of resources we need from the data engineer and also data scientist people to grab the data out and also to calculate the matrix and also build the dashboard. So I need to understand what is the implement cost. And also there's some of the data we cannot get from the public API. We need to get them from a private one or something else, and that will increase a lot for the implement cost. So that will be the second thing that I will consider. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Yes. Sounds like you are using the cost and benefit analysis. So, what is the benefit or the outcome you can take from that decision, like, or your priority? So, like you, as you mentioned, you consider customer needs as the high priority, and then you also consider the cost of that initiative. So, like, how much you need to consider the capacity planning as well. So yeah, that's a good prioritization strategy. So my last question for you is that could you tell me about the 5 skill set that you think are most important for a PM?
Okay.
And then what's the reason you think those fives are most important ones?
Okay. Mm, let me think. Give me some second
Okay.
because it's like top five.
Okay.
Um, I think the first one um will be the product design skill, like the product science. So basically, I think for that one, um, I need to understand what kind of products the user wants. And and so I think the product science will be super important because to understand the user will be like no matter for the 2B or 2C products, that will be super important. And for the second skill, I will consider it as the cross-functional communication. So as a product manager, you need to work with different team. Some of they are technical and some of them they are not technical. So I think we need to know how to talk with them and to make sure they understand what we want to do and also help us to achieve the goal. And for the third skill, I will consider maybe like because I'm a data science background, so I think your data science skill is also important to make the data-driven decision. So that will be um like no matter like for the A/B testing stuff, that will be super important for the to say product. Or we also need to know maybe how to design some of the survey. And that one will be maybe more important like as a to B product. Furthermore, let me think two more. Um, two more I will consider one thing I think is also super important is like um do the competitor research. So maybe some of the feature that we want to build, we also have some of the competitors they already have it. So when you do the competitor research, you can know like how to differentialize your feature to your competitor so that the user will love to use your feature compared to other products. And the last one, let me think the last one. The last one, maybe I think also super important is go-to-market strategy. So I think you need to have a really good the strategy for the marketing so that the customer or clients they will know you have this kind of product. And as long as they know, they can begin to curious for your product and begin to sign up. And if your marketing strategy is really bad, maybe no one know your product and no one will must spend time on it. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really important skills that I do agree for as a PM we need to have but for the data driven one I agree that depends on you are a 2C product or 2B product because I am a 2B product that I don't do A/B testing in my day-to-day job. I do agree for a lot of 2C product like JJ they probably do a lot of A/B testing and they have to do a lot of data driven decision. So yeah, and then actually, I can share, like, I can add on two more that I personally think are super important based on my experience. So, first, I would say time management because as a PM, you probably sit in meetings, back to meetings, all day, and then at the end, you will find out it's hard to find a time to do hands-on to work. So how to manage the time, that's for yourself, and also how to do time management for the entire team, for your engineering team, to oversee the implementation progress as a even as a program manager is super important. And another important skill set I think is, you probably already mentioned many times, is prioritization, because as a PM we have to make product decision for so many product decisions every day, so that, and also have so many product features and requirements and needs from everywhere, from customer, from our stakeholders, so that we need to prioritize, so that we won't get overwhelmed by so many open questions or asks. So yeah, I think that's all my questions for you. So um we can jump into the feedback session. And but before I do that, overall, what do you think about this mock interview? Like, how do you think you answered to those questions? You can do some like self feedback session.
I think I'm not that well prepared, so I feel some of my answer is not that structured, like it's not that clear, and yeah, so I think I need to prepare more for that part so that like I can, make you have a better experience. Yeah.
No,
Better
I think overall
answer.
experience is good. So um in terms of, I can go through all those questions one by one. So the first question I ask you is, because you right now you are not doing a PM job, so most people will ask you or interested in why you want to transit into PM, and then what's the reason behind it. So you mentioned that when you were doing the you were having the technical background, and you were having like a lot of technical skill set. So when you were doing the entrepreneur when you were doing an entrepreneurial experience, so you find out you can leverage those technical skill set, and but also working with a lot of people, and then listen to customer needs, and then build those to be a product. So you start to think about to be a product manager. Uh, I think that's a good story. But in terms of like the why, like I think you can think about more list out like a structure, like you think is because talking to customers and help them to solve their problems make you feel really happy and feel satisfied. uh is that the reason make you want to be a PM, or is because you feel like you are standing between the business side world and also the technical side world? You are like the bridge, linking two words. So that's the part you feel like you're that make you feel passionate about, or is because solving those product product problems, or like help customers to solve their to help them to um, identify their user pain points, and then define a feature or product and help them to solve those problems, can make you like satisfied from or feel happy from your work. So those are like can be like specific reasons that um, can help you to list out those bullet points for the interviewer. So as an interviewer, like we need to take notes in from your answers. So we want like to hear a very structured answer from you, like from like a story. So that's the first question. And then the next question I ask you is, tell me about a time when you had to manage a difficult stakeholder. So I think you answered pretty well. You leveraged the STAR method. So you start with like a situation that like you describe the product, and what kind of situation you were in back then, and you described your task is to trying to find the channel for all the users, and then The next section is you talk about the action, and then you talk about you identify two different user groups. One is the engineers, and the other one is the sales. So there are two different user personas for using the Slack huddle, and then you compare like their user behaviors and what kind of user needs they have. Like in terms of sales, they want a more formal meetings, and they also want to schedule ahead of time. So that's why they need video calls, and they also need the calendar feature so that they can so that those will meet their user needs. And in terms of engineers, they usually chat with each other, and they don't necessarily have to turn on the video. And then because they work on, most of the engineers, I would say they work on an agile basis, so they probably just ping each other and then hop into a call without like planning ahead of time. So I think those are like really well said scenarios that AC described. But in terms of like the difficult stakeholders, I think you probably want to focus a little bit more about the core of this problem. Is that like um, what is the difficult part of this stakeholder? So I think as you described is that that's a new PM. So based on what I heard is that build trust is the difficult part from that stakeholder. So because she's new and also you were an intern there, so it's very hard to build a trust in a short amount of time. So time limit is also I was I would say that's the one of the difficult part. And so what and you mentioned about the action that you did is that you um did the product strategy and also did a lot of product research with your mentor together, so that you want to earn that trust from her, so that you take a lot of initiative and efforts to resolve that problem. So I think is that what you probably can do in that, or what you want to polish in that story is that you want to emphasize more about like why that is difficult and how did you resolve that difficult part. So as I mentioned, like you can list out why, you can even just answer to that interviewer like why that stakeholder is difficult, or you think it's difficult to deal with, is because short amount of time and it's hard to build trust with that stakeholder. And then how did you react to that situation and what kind of actions you take? So I think that's a really good story. And then I think you did a pretty good job to react to that situation, and then had a like really good outcome at the end. So it's a really good story for answering behavior question. Um, so the moving on to the next question. So is that describe a situation where a feature or product you launched did not meet expectation, and what did you learn and how did you move forward? So that's actually like three questions, I would say. So um you mentioned.
Yeah, maybe the example is not that fit for that one, but I think that one is the most fit one from my experience. So I just share that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, based because you're not like on a PM role, so probably this question is a bit hard for you. And also uh even though like you had one PM internship experience in the past, but like it's very short, like 3 months. So it's probably you didn't have like a chance to really launch a product or um execute a product from a for entire life cycle. So I think that's still what you shared is that can still be leveraged. You mentioned that when you were a PM intern, certificate, um, and then you mentioned that you have done a lot of user research and PRD for that initiative, and at the end, the leadership didn't prioritize your a product idea, and then your product got deprioritized. So yeah, I think that can be you can still tell the interviewer like why you think that didn't meet expectations. So as I mentioned, so it can be your self expectation. You expect that your idea can be converted to a product, or can be converted to be a feature to be launched after that 3 months of internship. So that can be your self expectation. So that actually didn't meet your self expectation. So within 3 months, that your product ideas got deprioritized, and then what you took action is that you actually tried to still finalize all those product details with the engineers and make sure in the future, when there's a chance this product idea can be prioritized, then all the product requirements are ready. And also from engineer side, they also validate this there's no technical difficulty behind those product features. So I think that's those the efforts and you made. And then in terms of what did you learn and how did you move forward? So probably that's a part you can talk a little bit more, because this is more like a uh how did you face a failure, or how did you face a situation that you you didn't like successfully do something. So I will say usually when you're answering a behavior question like this, I will actually put more time to talk about what did I learn from that and how did I move forward. It's more talking about your takeaways and how you can do better in the future, in terms of like whether it's setting up expectation or some other further actions you can take from that experience.
Yeah, I think for this story, I try to like to show the skill, like take the initiative, even though I know like before I left company, I still like cannot finish that project, but I still wanna left the fully packaged stuff so that like in the future if they wanna use it, they can use it. So that's the thing that I try to focus on.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
I
think
think I should talk more for what I learned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still a good story to share, because you were doing a PM job back then, and it's a good story that there's some part that did not make expectations. So you can always self-explain to that question, like how did you interpret that question, and how what kind of story that you can leverage to answer that question. Um, yeah, and then for the last question is that, actually two last
Do
questions.
more.
Yeah, there's another one is you uh, provide example when you use data to make a critical product decision, and how did the product influence your strategy, and what was the result. So it's again like three questions. So I think you answered pretty well. You used a experience your experience back in Amazon as a program manager. So I can tell like you probably like that experience super important to you. So like you still remember a lot of details when you were a program manager back then. So you mentioned about again use the star method. That's really great. You mentioned about like you want to improve the overall efficiency and help the marketing team to do their marketing job, so that you want to leverage the customer data. So I choose this question because I feel like you came from a data science background, so you probably leverage a lot of data in your day-to-day job and in the past internship. So I was thinking that I was actually quite surprised you choose the one you when you were a program
Oh,
manager
it's
back like
because
yeah. I mean,
like
it's still a good story.
yeah, it's because I'm already share my Slack experience.
Mhm.
So and also like Certic experience and then like I think I try to share more dimension. Maybe I can also share the Certic data science intern, but I feel maybe you will be a little bit confused like for my like timeline or something. And then maybe I just choose the one long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell like you definitely have prepared this one before, because you remember a lot of this program details when you were a program manager back then, so that it will make the story more solid. Uh, but this is still a good story. And then last one is the actually a kind of classic one, like what are five skill set you think are most important for PM? Probably five is a little bit more, is a bit too many. Um, I think you give pretty good answer and based on your own experience, and also you also showcase what are some of your strengths because you came from a data science background, so you have the skill set of to do the data driven decision and also um about the cross-functional team working experience. So I would say actually you can use some other terms, probably can resonate more with the PM, is that we really call it like stakeholder management, that we work with cross-functional teams and then we need to manage a lot of different stakeholders. So I will actually answer this question more like give a very short five very short answers. Like the first one is user empathy, and then is what you mentioned is like product sense or
Yeah,
uh
user MC. Yeah,
yeah.
I think I remember lots of keywords before, but I just didn't remember it today, or like maybe like 5 months ago. I think I can give a clear answer, like what is the most important five skill, because I have prepared for that one before, but now like I didn't remember the keyword, but just remember the idea. So that's the reason why it
Yeah,
will be
no
a
worries. I
little
think
bit
you still
weird.
give like good answer because you explain it really well because you not only have to give all the bullet points, but you also have to explain what does each one means. Because sometimes a lot of interviewees they just give five skill sets and that's it. Because we're also expecting more. We also expect you to explain why you think those are important and yeah, and I saw JJ post like
Yeah.
she she had a question asking for 9. So originally I was planning to ask 10, but I was thinking it's a bit too many, so I just like cut it down to 5 at the end. But I think you give pretty good answer. Those are really important PM skill set. Um
What's
yeah,
your top 10?
my top 10 I think it's not like about it's not necessarily have to be like PM specific. My first one, as I mentioned, when you were interviewing, when you were answering, is that time management because that's one I feel most important based on my day-to-day job because I have like so many meetings that I really need to find time to do the PM work so that I have time to write a PRD and then have the time to think through the flow product flow end to end. And the second one is prioritization. This one I also mentioned, and the third one I will say is the stakeholder management because as at my company, I'm an inbound product manager. We also have outbound product manager. So as an inbound product manager, it's more like the classic traditional product manager. You work with the engineer, you work with the QE engineer to work on the product, and then you work with the customer to get the um you work with the customer to get their user needs. It's more like the traditional product manager, and then our outbound product manager, they're the one who manage the product to go to market, and also they talk to our customers and sales and then solution consultant to make sure that each product it can be customized to each company so
Mhm.
that it can meet their company needs. Yeah, JJ mentioned um Tilly is the outbound product manager. Yeah. So as an inbound, we have to work with the engineers, QE engineer, and also the with a lot of customers, and also with the outbound product manager, and also with the marketing team, um, to do the pricing and pack, and also with the leaderships to
Mhm.
identify what are some big product initiatives. So um, your time will be split out to each stakeholder. So that's also really important because you have to win as a team every day. Like as a PM, we cannot do like build a product on our own. That's not possible. And also those are three. most important one. And then I grade the competitive research. I will say like competitive analysis is also a really important one. We also need to see the market trends, what happened is what's going on the market, what are some important features or trends on the market right now. So it also depends on which stage your product is on right now. So for me, it's a 0 to 1 product. So there are a lot of like pretty mature product on the market, so that can provide you a lot of insights and inspirations. Apart from that, I think you can also talk about like program management, because when I'm working together with the Scrum team, I feel like I'm like a mini program manager. Like even though they have their own Scrum master, but as a PM, you are the one who is overseeing the timeline for the release. So usually for us, we work on 3 releases on this at the same time. So the current release is the Scrum team is working towards. They're implementing all those features. And then the next release is the one you are planning ahead, that after the Scrum team is done with all those implementations, and then they will move on to the next one. You have to make sure there are enough product features like PRD ready there so that they can take up immediately after done this release. And then the one after that one is the third release, that you will plan ahead to go through it with the leadership to make sure they're all aligned with those product initiatives in the next two release. So those are the 3 releases we need to work on. So you have to have that timeline in mind all the time to make sure that every stakeholders make on time, and then you also have prepared enough stuff on time. So I would say like program management is also really important to oversee like a specific timeline. You have those things ready.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
That's
would say
totally.
10 is really, really hard to answer. So I'm not sure, like JJ, you probably can help me answer. What did you answer for like those nice 9 ones?
Did you just add 2 more?
No, I'm thinking like because I was asked 9, right? So I did a framework thinking. So I told them like, for example, like I have 3 categories, and for 3 categories, like for example, product strategy, product design, and product execution, right? Like, and within the 3, I list down 3, so it just makes my life easier. Um,
Yeah, that's really smart. Like you can also divide it to different categories, and then
That's easier.
yeah, that's easier for you to brainstorm more. Because
Yeah.
what I thought more is, because right now I'm doing a lot of product execution because I'm entry level and also I'm new. So I'm doing a lot of product execution. That's why I focus the most on the product execution part. Yeah. I think that's all for my feedback session. So